Good morning, students. Students, today I am going to discuss third and very important type of cellular organelle, and it is referred as director of the cell, brain of the cell, controller of the cell, and it is called nucleus. Students, I want to tell you that this nucleus or this cell organelle was first described by a scientist in 1831, and the scientist was Robert Brown. Okay, later the material of the nucleus stained by the basic dyes, and the name of the material which is present inside the nucleus is called as chromatin, and it was initially identified by the Fleming, and he identified this chromatin material with the help of certain stains or certain dyes. Now students, if you will observe the interphase is a kind of phase of the cell cycle in which the cell is not undergoing any kind of division. So while we are going to observe a nucleus during interphase, so we will find out that there is a highly elaborate or nucleoproteinous fibers are there, and these fibers are called as chromatin fibers. And except it, the nucleus also contains some matrix in which these fibers are suspended, and along with it, it has one or more spherical bodies which are called as nucleoli, or which is in singular form it is called as nucleolus. Students, one more thing I want to tell you that while you will observe the structure of the nucleus under the microscope, so you will find out that a nucleus is covered by or protected by a double membrane bounded structure, and there is a space between these two parallel membrane, and the space is approximately 10 to 15 nanometer, and the space between the two layers by which the nucleus is surrounded, and this space is called as perinuclear space, and these membranes are forming a kind of barrier between the materials which are present inside the nucleus as well as the cytoplasm. Means the nuclear membrane is a kind of barrier, okay, which is separating the nuclear material from the cytoplasm. The outer membrane usually remains continuous, and it forms some membranous structure which are called as endoplasmic reticulum, and this endoplasmic reticulum bears ribosomes on its surface. Okay? And one more thing I want to tell you that at a number of places this nuclear membrane is interrupted, means there are some pores in this nuclear membrane, and these pores are called as nuclear pores, and these pores are the sites from where the materials can exchange. Means what are the materials which are going to exchange? Means some proteins can enter inside the nucleus, or as well as RNA and protein can move outside from the nucleus into the cytoplasm too. Now this nucleus is very important structure, as I mentioned earlier also, but there are certain cells which lack this nucleus. Some eukaryotes like RBCs, erythrocytes, do not possess such kind of nucleus, as well as in plants. If I will talk about the plants, the sieve tubes of the phloem in plants also lack nucleus. Now I am talking about the nucleolus. The nucleolus is basically present in a matrix which is present inside the nuclear membrane, and this matrix is generally called as nucleoplasm, and this nucleoplasm contains a spherical structure which is called as nucleolus in singular form, and plural form it is called as nucleoli, and this nucleolus is a spherical structure which is not bounded by or which is not guarded by any kind of boundaries. Okay? And this nucleolus is involved basically in the formation of the RNA as well as protein, while the another material which is present inside the nucleus, it is called as chromatin fiber. So during interphase, if you will observe the nucleolus, so you will observe that there are various proteinaceous fiber like structures are there, and these fibers are called as generally these are made up of nucleoprotein fibers, or these are called as nucleoprotein fibers, and these after condensation, while the cell is undergoing division, so while the cell starts to divide or cell undergoes cell division, then these chromatin fibers are going to condense and they are forming chromosomes, okay, in the place of nucleus. So the nucleus does not appears clearly in the phase of cell division. Only the chromosomes are going to be visible. And if we will talk about the chromosomes, so we can say that the chromosomes are the condensed structure or condensed form of the chromatin fibers. Now if somebody is going to ask you that what are these chromatin fibers, so structurally I want to say that the chromatin fiber is basically made up of DNA. Okay, and along with the DNA it also contains some proteins. These proteins may be histone protein and non-histone proteins, and sometimes the nuclear material or the chromatin fiber or chromosome also contains ribonucleic acid or RNA too. Is it clear? So I want to tell you that the total genome of the human or a human cell approximately contains 2.2 meter lengthy DNA. Is it clear? And what are it, how this is arranged, how this is enclosed inside a nucleus, I will tell you in the higher classes, probably in the class 12th. Now I want to discuss about the structure of the chromosomes too. Now since I told you that during the cell division the chromatin fiber condenses and forms a chromosome. Now if you will observe the structure of the chromosome, so you will find out that essentially there will be a constriction in a chromosome. Constriction means a kind of knot, we can say that. Okay, and this constriction is primary constriction, it is called as centromere. Now a centromere has two disc shaped structures, and these disc shaped structures are called as kinetochores. Okay, now you can see in the figure there is a constriction in the bluish one chromosome, and there are two disc shaped structures in the constriction, and these are called as kinetochores. Now based on the position of the centromere, now this constriction is called centromere, and based on its position the chromosome may be of four different types. Now the first type is metacentric. In metacentric chromosome you can observe that the constriction or the centromere is in between, mean it divides the chromosome into two equal halves or two equal parts, okay, or two equal arms, simply I have to say that. While in the submetacentric the centromere is near to one end, means one arm is quite larger and one arm is quite shorter. Now the third condition is called acrocentric. In acrocentric condition you will find out that in acrocentric condition you will find out that the centromere is situated close to one end, means one arm is very long and one arm is very short in the acrocentric. While in the telocentric condition the centromere is present at the terminal end, means only one arm is visible. So there are four conditions: metacentric when the centromere is at the middle, while submetacentric it forms two arms, one is shorter and one is longer arm, while the third one condition is called as acrocentric. In acrocentric condition it is very near to the end, means one arm is too large and one arm is too short. Last telocentric means when the centromere is at the terminal position. Okay, and sometimes there is a secondary constriction also present in the chromosomes. While the secondary constriction is present, so after the secondary constriction it leaves a non-staining. While we are going to stain the chromosome, the after the portion of the secondary constriction, the portion will not attain any kind of color from the dye. So this portion is called as, or this fragment is called as satellite. Sometimes along with the nucleus some other bodies are also present. These are some vesicle like bodies which store various enzymes inside it, and these are called as microbodies. So I am concluding here what is nucleus. Today we discussed that what is nucleus and what is its structure and various parts as well as function. So I hope so you understood today's topic. Still if you are feeling any difficulty, please concern with me. Thank you, bye bye, and have a nice day.